So this video tutorial is going to guide you through Adobe Fireworks CS6 and some of the basic features to edit images. This is software that's designed to edit images that will be used on web pages. So let's get started. So if I go to File and open up the image that I want to edit, which is this one, and that immediately places it onto the canvas. Just a quick keyboard shortcut here, the first keyboard shortcut of the day. If I hold down Control and then press the minus key, I can zoom out. If I press the plus key, I can zoom in. So that's quite a handy shortcut to know to save a little bit of time. Now the first thing I want to do is increase the size of the canvas so that I've got space to annotate on either side of the diagram. So to do that, I'm going to use Modify, head up to Canvas, select the canvas size, and I'm just going to increase the width of the canvas quite substantially. It's 1400, and I want the image to stay in the centre, so I'm going to leave everything else as it is, and you can see that gives me a bit of space either side. The next thing I'm going to do is just modify the background colour of the canvas, so by all means choose a colour of your own choosing. So I'm going to go back to Canvas, Colour and Custom, not transparent, and I am going to have just a plain white background on mine and press OK. So the next thing I'm going to do is just make some room for a title, so I'm going to go up and resize. Make sure you use the select tool over here to be able to select and interact with the objects in your image. So I'm just going to resize that image slightly and create some space for some text, which I'm going to put here. I'm going to type the title in now. I'm just going to pause the video while I do that. Okay, so I'll type my title in. In terms of editing the text, it's similar to most standard applications. So if you look down the bottom here, you've got all your properties. I've got the text type. Quite happy with the one that I've got selected. Colour, size, alignment, etc. So there's nothing new there. And another useful keyboard shortcut to be aware of is resizing the text. So rather than me just guessing the size that's going to be suitable for this, if I press Control Shift and then use either the right or the left crocodile clip keyboard key, I can resize the text like that. So I'm just literally tapping through until I get the size of the title I want. And I'll say that is pretty much there, and I'll go back to the select tool just to reposition again and align that. So well-designed workstation. So the next thing I'm going to look at is adding again the text annotations. So again, if I put the cursor tool here, I can obviously add that text in, which I'll just do now. Okay, so I've typed in the text for my first point I want to make about a well-designed workstation. I'm just going to drag that across to this side of the screen. The other thing I'm going to do is just make a little backdrop so that text stands out a little bit more clearly. So to do that, if I use the ellipse tool down here, I've got different shapes that I can use. So I'm just going to use the rounded rectangle. I'm just going to draw around my text there. Let's get a better colour than that. Let's try and choose a faded colour. Down to the properties box again to edit the colours. And I just need to send that behind the text as well, don't I? Obviously, so to do that, again, the pointer tool selected. If I right click, and then you get the option to arrange, and so I want to send that to the back, okay, behind my text, to make that stand out a little bit more clearly. The other thing that I can do now is I've got an issue. If I move one, the text doesn't move, so I can group these two objects together, the text and the background. I can also just set the position, adjust the position using my arrow keys as well to just get that perfect. So if I just highlight, left click and highlight a box, I've got everything selected. Another keyboard shortcut coming up here. If I press Control and G down, that's called grouping, and that groups the two separate objects to form one object there. So that's convenient for moving around. Okay. So the next job then is to draw an arrow on to where this particular annotation should match up. So again, I've got the line tool over here that I'm going to use, and you're best off just drawing directly from where you want to go, which is roughly to about there on my image. Again, the properties for the line are down here, so if I want to change the width, probably not that thick, then I can do that using that option down there. So I'll put that about 10. If I wanted to adjust the size or the width of this arrow, if you notice now it's hard for me to actually edit this arrow and move it around, then I need to use the transform tool, the scale tool over here. So if I use the scale tool, and that allows me to be able to kind of resize the arrow and rotate it and whatnot. Okay, but I don't need to in this case, that's absolutely fine. If I want to add an arrowhead to that arrow, if I go up to Commands and then down to creative and add arrowheads, I can. And I want to add it to the end, and if I choose my arrow type, if I want it to be a double-headed arrow, I'd do that. So I don't, I just want it to be at the end, and that one will do. If I press OK, you can see I've got an arrow head pointing, maybe not the best one in the world, but it'll do. And then the final skill I was going to show was just about highlighting the area to which that arrow wants to point to. So let's go and grab a circle tool and draw the area to which we're relating. In fact, that's not a circle tool, is it? Let's go down here, change to the ellipse tool. So highlight the area that I want this arrow to kind of focus at. You'll notice again the properties side of things down here. We haven't got a fill colour selected, so let's put a green colour maybe in there for that. This is the colour of the outline. If I use the red line, diagonal red line, that basically means transparent, so that gets rid of that background colour. The other thing that I might want to do then is just make that slightly opaque, so that I could see through it. So again, if I select my selection tool, go across, click on the layers option, and you can see that the current layers, it recognises the ellipse is selected, and if I change the opacity of that, let's put it down to like 65, you can see we get that kind of phased in look. And if I zoom in on that with my control and my plus sign, you can see what I'm referring to. Okay, so just a few basic skills in Fireworks. Hopefully it's a fairly straightforward package to use. So you just need to finish off annotating and editing your image with the well-designed workstation covered.